Let's go, brother. Push, push, push. There you go, Tom. There you go. Oh.
No. Put him on the ground. Okay, sit him down. Sit him down. Bring cold water. We need cold water. Give me any cold water here.
Inside of all of us, there's a relentless will to survive. Tom Lee knows exactly how deep it runs. Retiring from the service after 4 years, Staff Sergeant Lee re-enlisted following the tragedy of 9/11. While training, he experienced discomfort and consulted the base physician. The diagnosis was stunning.
According to the blood work and the ultrasound, that there was a cancer that I was dealing with, testicular cancer, and they wanted to operate immediately.
Lee miraculously overcame cancer in 8 weeks following surgery and intense bouts with radiation therapy. Soon after, Lee was deployed to Iraq, where he faced another threat to his life. This time, not an enemy to his body, but an enemy to our nation.
I started getting that weird feeling almost like when I was going through the cancer, but it was just more intense. I radioed to my driver to get us back with the other vehicle. Something wasn't right, and as we were reversing our position, the IED went off.
An explosion near his vehicle took the lives of 2 men and most of Lee's right leg.
And I looked down and it was obvious that my right leg was just mangled.
With the help of reinforcements, Lee escaped and survived a grueling rehabilitation. Determined to overcome his injury, Lee started competing in para-triathlons. He's training to represent America for the 2016 Summer Paralympics in Brazil. And for extra motivation, para-triathlon was added to the event list.
So a sport that I am falling in love with has provided me the opportunity to wear the flag again, but this time I won't be shot at. I'll be racing against other countries instead of fighting with them.
On your mark!
His international journey started in Irving, where Paralympians from around the world competed for qualifying points.
Righty, good job, man, good job.
Inspiration was everywhere, as athletes with unique physical challenges shared in Lee's goal to represent their countries at the Games. And on a warm day, he cruised in the opening disciplines, swimming,
Pull up hard, go.
and cycling. But with the finish line just 100 yards away, Lee's dream led to an unforeseen fight for his life.
He passed by me and I had my iPhone out and I was, videotaping and screaming and yelling.
There you go, Tom. There you go.
And then he just basically face planted.
A member of Lee's team, Jared Rose, realized his friend's body was overheated. As race officials gathered to help,
Breathe slowly, okay?
Lee maintained some consciousness and pleaded his case to finish the race.
And at that point, it got pretty clear after the first 5 or 10 steps of us holding him that he was past the point of really being able to make that decision for himself.
Paramedics rushed Lee to the hospital with a serious heat stroke.
We actually had to put him on a life support. When the temperature gets that high in your body at 107, you have potential for brain injury, kidney failure, and many other medical conditions.
I don't remember anything from that day initially, but I did recover really quickly, according to the doctors and medical staff there, to be on my feet and out and moving on the go with my prosthetic.
Not only did Lee fully survive the heat stroke, he's back training for the Paralympics. His goal to wear the red, white, and blue on the biggest stage is amazingly back on track.
With the cancer, what happened in the Middle East, and now this with the para-triathlon, you just won't quit, will you?
That's what a lot of my friends have said, 9 lives. It's one of those things that live and continue to live.
one of the top American para-triathlon athletes, and he has a great shot of making it to the games in Rio. Qualifying is now his full-time job. Lee recently moved to Washington State to resume training and pursue his dream.
It's just trees blown, cars on the side. I mean, I saw a body here and there.
Eli Carr Walker was 8 years old when Katrina hit New Orleans. It abruptly ended his childhood and forced the oldest of 4 siblings to protect his family.
This is just an unbelievable scene.
It meant scavenging for food, breaking the law, and stealing for basic essentials.
I mean, I'm not gonna even lie, I saw a cop doing it himself. I was like, if the law is gonna do it, why can't I do it, you know? So I was like, I just want to supply, I just want to help my family.
With Eli's parents out of the picture, he and his siblings fled Louisiana, only to be separated into North Texas foster homes. Eli landed in Mansfield and lost touch with his family.
He's just my baby.
But he joined a new one. Alma Walker adopted Eli and signed him up for Mansfield football.
His siblings all looked up to him, and he's a very compassionate person.
Like, I wouldn't be playing with this team, I wouldn't be in Mansfield if it wasn't for her. And I thank her so much.
40 miles away in Flower Mound, 11-year-old Ivory Dabner tells a similar story. He too is a Katrina survivor living in North Texas.
I went through many different foster homes, and then I also got separated, and then I had to continue on my own by myself.
Ivory was a toddler when he became the 5th and youngest member of the Dabner family.
But he had this great energy about him. Very cute kid, very funny kid. I had the soft spot in my heart for Ivory.
It's the season opener for Flower Mound Marcus. Ivory and his family hit the road to Mansfield to support neighborhood friends playing on the field. A routine Friday high school game turned into a night 2 young boys will never forget.
Ivory taps me on the shoulder and says, "Dad, they just called my brother's name."
He said, "Are you sure?"
They just called Elijah Carr Walker.
I knew it was him because, like, I saw how short he was.
I'm like, "Are you sure?"
And then I said yes.
So we walk around and go to the other side.
I hear Ivory's brother scream, "Elijah."
His brother kind of does a double take.
I look over and I know Ivory's eyes. He got the biggest eyes in the world. You just can't
ever forget Ivory's eyes.
He saw me and then he couldn't believe it was really me.
I cried like a baby. I'm not gonna lie, man. I cried like a big old baby out there. So, and then after I hug him, I would try to say something, and then the tears would just come down, and I would just go and hug him again. The hug was just the best thing to show him that I loved him.
Feels good to win, huh?
Yeah.
Feels good to win.
On the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, long-lost brothers reunited on a football field. Since that unforgettable moment, Eli and Ivory see each other once a week on Friday nights at Mansfield football games, and they plan to spend family time together over the holidays. And in a story full of long odds, Mansfield and Marcus met again in the playoffs, the game where it all began.
It was the most meaningful, emotional moment, probably other than childbirth, that I've ever seen in my life.
A part of me was missing. Like, I always wonder at the back of my mind, how's my little brother doing, you know? And for us to be reunited again, like, I feel great. I know he's fine, and I know he's just a phone call away. I could just call him anytime I want. So having that relationship in our lives again is just great. I love it.
Well, let's talk a little bit of basketball. There's a special student at UNT who grew up faster than most. In 1 year, he lived through enough heartache to last a lifetime. His journey to Denton is full of struggle, and it's truly amazing that he's even there. It happened fast. A bright future suddenly turned dark. But the pure hearts of strangers and the love of sport saved Todd Eaglin's life. The New Orleans native was just 11 years old when tragedy first struck. His mother unexpectedly died of a heart attack. Eaglin never had time to mourn because soon after, Hurricane Katrina hit and destroyed the family home.
I was just couldn't really believe it at one time, you know? Dang, I just lost my mom. And then whenever I lost my home, I just like remember, I couldn't even, like when I saw it on the news, I couldn't even believe it.
Like so many Katrina victims, Eaglin and his older siblings fled New Orleans and settled in Houston. As his brothers and sisters worked 2 jobs apiece to make ends meet, Todd found a Little League team. But he also found something that would change his life forever. The parental aid he had lost was filled by a teammate's parents. Rick and Gina Mora met their son's deprived teammate, learned his story, and felt the need to help. They gave Todd a bed, food, and the guidance this boy needed.
My wife, who was a mother, just couldn't take the fact that there was a young kid who was 12 years old kind of just hanging out in the parking lot at night, you know, with not much supervision.
Next thing you know, Todd just started coming over. He just kept coming back and coming back. I'd drop him off at home and he'd beat me back to my house, you know. So he was always just over all the time, and we just fell in love with him. He was such a good kid.
Knowing this new extended family could provide Todd with more opportunities, the teenager's siblings gave the Moras legal guardianship. Todd thrived with the Moras. He always excelled in sports, but his academics improved drastically.
A 5'10" junior guard from New Orleans, Louisiana, number 5, Todd Eaglin.
Which is why he earned a full-ride scholarship to North Texas and starts as the team's point guard.
What a good dog, we're splitting!
The Moras drive or fly from Houston to see Todd play almost every game.
Woo, Todd Eaglin!
This unlikely relationship has changed their lives forever. College was only a dream before Todd met the Moras, and now the 21-year-old is a year away from graduating. The once-lost boy from New Orleans has recaptured his bright future thanks to the giving nature of a special family.
It was just the right thing to do, so we've never looked back at it as a family. Hey, there he is right there. Hey, Todd. And we have no regrets, and we're very happy with them. I don't even know. I can't really put it in words how much I love them. Like, I don't know, man. They're like the best thing that ever happened to me, probably.
It makes me cry because, you know, I'm very happy that he loves us like that and we love him like that. It's very, it's not hard. It's not hard to love Todd if you get to know him. He's really a good kid, and he's very, very lovable, very easy, you know, to love. But it's very overwhelming sometimes to hear him talk like that, you know. It's just overwhelming.
Eaglin is still close to his siblings, and those brothers and sisters also have strong relationships with the Moras, which is great to see. The only thing that could make this story better is a bit more success for the team. UNT is 9-11 this season. Family and baseball. Above all else, it's family and baseball for Carlos Corcoran. The big league catcher was on top of the world 2.5 years ago. He supported a family, and his baseball career was taking off. But that's when life threw the ultimate curveball, and the Corcoran's perfect world was turned upside down.
Everything was perfect, and then from nowhere, I was like miserable. I don't even want to be part of that pain, you know.
The immediate joy of being first-time parents for Carlos and his wife Stephanie had to wait. Their son Carlos Jr. was born with a defect known as hypoplastic left heart syndrome, where the left side of the heart underdevelops. The newborn went into surgery immediately as doctors rushed to save his life. Carlos struggled to maintain his professional career with the Houston Astros and be there for his family, while Stephanie, who is now pregnant with a second child, lived with her infant son at the hospital.
It was hard. We couldn't understand what happened. It was a lot of questions and no answers, you know.
After 3 total surgeries and 7 months in the hospital, young Carlos was released and on track to live a normal life.
When we left, we were so excited. You know, 7 months already between 2 hospitals, we were done. Right. You know, we just wanted to have a life. We just wanted to take care of him, and he was doing well. You know, 9 months passed. He was good, and then one day, that's it.
In October of 2012, young Carlos unexpectedly stopped breathing. This time, doctors couldn't save him.
It's something that they don't, they don't prepare you for. Yeah, they tell you, well, if they stop breathing or anything, but your son's dying, what do? I just looked at him and stared at him and just thinking, what happened? What did I miss? I was always there. What did I miss that I didn't see this coming?
I couldn't believe it. I was like in denial, I was like, no way. And that's when my life fell apart, like it was a really, really hard moment for us as a family.
Say go Rangers.
That's when family and baseball helped the Corporans regain focus. Daughter Tiffany, born a year after Carlos Jr., is full of personality and keeps her parents busy. But for Carlos, he needed something more.
The game. The game.
With him in your mind?
So, oh yeah, all the time. I mean, that was what kept my mind of thinking about Carlos. But the day he passed away, everything that I do for him and my family.
Every June for Carlos Jr.'s birthday, the Corporans throw him a party at a local children's hospital in Houston. They provide food, gifts, and lots of attention to the young patients. They plan to bring the party to North Texas this summer and start a charity in their son's honor.
Smiles for Carlos will be the name for the nonprofit because he was always happy. I think that's what he would want, for us to help others. We have been blessed in this dark time, so it's time for us to help other people feel blessed too, in any way we can.